Right. So.
There we go. I'm on YouTube.
Okay. Well, it hasn't actually done it yet, but it's at least telling you it's live on YouTube, which is good.
Yeah.
Okay. So. It doesn't even. Oh, it does it that way. Okay, it doesn't even ask you to set up the page. Right. Okay. So, hello and welcome to the very first monthly episode of Light Code Discussions with the wonderful Denise Chadwick and myself, Sifu Boggie. Haven't made an intro yet, but I will. But before we continue, let me just quickly find this on my own page, which I have, and then I wish my phone would stop bleeping. Let's share it on. Let's go to the Way of Conscious Mindfulness. Go on to there.
Can you share it on mine, maybe?
I can do that as well. Just give us a second.
Yeah.
So that one is on there. So if I go next and go publish, hopefully, hello. Hopefully, we are now on the Way of Conscious Mindfulness, and I pressed the wrong button, and so I need to find my channel again, and so share, and right. So how am I going to share it on you? So go to newsfeed and go to Denise Chadwick. If I put Denise. Shush, computer. Right, so that you're tagged in this, so hopefully that should. Are you on your Facebook?
I am.
Right, refresh your page now. Shush. Right, is it there? Can you see it?
Yes.
Awesome. Right. Well, we've had a few teething problems here on this show. It's the whole energy of this year, I think, so far. It's new stuff. But hello and welcome. Next time, hopefully, we won't have the same sort of issues. But welcome to this very first monthly show called Light Code Discussions with Denise Chadwick and myself, Sifu Boggie. Welcome all. I will try to keep a tabs of people on the Way of Conscious Mindfulness side, so to see what they're saying. But hello, and welcome. So let's go from here. I wish that would stop binging. Let's just quickly turn everything off. There we go. That stopped it. Awesome. So we'll start off with so basically, good evening, Denise. How are you doing? How are things with you?
Hello. Things are good, actually. I'm enjoying 2020 so far. Yeah, the energies have been strong, but actually quite pleasant, I have found thus far.
Yeah.
Fiery.
Yeah, lots of the dragons. I think of the dragon energy has definitely stepped up again. Technically, in the Chinese astrology, it's year of the rat, so it's it's actually the beginning cycle. So it's a new decade, and it's the number one. So it's the first branch, because not a lot of people know is that the animals were added after. Originally, it was called 12 branches, and there's 12 branches, and each branch had the characteristic. Frequency and energy, and it was like branches of a tree, and it was originally. So Chinese astrology originally was a Taoist system, and it was the Buddhists that then turn the branches into animals, and use the same characteristics, but made it an animal. So yeah, it's the year of the rat this year, and so that's new beginnings and new things scurrying through and new energies. It's like the spring. Things coming up and popping up. So the new cycle, the new 12 cycle on a new decade, on a 2020. So it's like lots of new beginnings, which is really cool, really interesting. But at the same time, even though technically the dragon is the fourth branch or the fourth energy in, the dragon energy seems to be really strong. I feel he really seems and to the ancients and in China, the dragon energy is not a negative. You have good and bad in everything, but it's actually older than this universe. They would say that the dragon energy is older than the universe itself, so it can appear quite scary or different, but there's so much of it, and it's such a high density energy, it can appear at times sort of scary. And the dragon dogs, and in the Taoist culture, were these beings that landed, that came from the Stargate, called the dragon dogs. So the dragon dogs were very much the dog energy of Earth, so the guardian, the protector of Earth, but also the dragon and the connection of the dragon energy, the connection of the universe. And though when the Western people went to China and saw them, they called them lions. They thought they were lion dogs, and so the Chinese called them food dogs because Westerners call them lions. But when you actually see the head of a dragon dog, it actually looks more like it looks like a dragon. If you see in the Chinese New Year celebrations, the head of the dragon and the head of the lion dogs actually looks the same. So how can it be a lion? And it's not hair; it's actually like it's armor. It's that thing. Or some people, they're reptilians. The Draco, it's reptilian energy. It's like, nah. Now the reptilians don't like dragon energy. Dragon beings they do not like. But that's something for another time. But anyway, so how did very, very quickly, almost like a way of conscious mindfulness, how did this all start for you? The light language way. Where did this all begin?
The light language. It's been a bit of a progression. So I started with working with energy and with the light when I was attuned to Reiki in 2001, May 2001. And I started working with sound in sessions as well. So I would sing into the body and do tones. And when I was attuned to Anubis Reiki, the lady in Australia that taught me that, she encouraged us to use our voice in treatments. And it kind of progressed from there. The written codes that I've been doing since about 2005, when I was in Byron Bay in Australia. And as soon as I started doing sessions there, I would find that my hands would be moving in certain ways. And at first I wondered if they were Reiki symbols. I didn't really know about light language at the time. And I thought it was a new stream of Reiki, which there is some of that going on with this as well. But what I came to realize was that they were light language symbols. Verbal light language, one sentence came through in 2011. And by this time, I was quite well aware of light language. It wasn't, it was something that I'd heard shared by people doing sessions in Byron Bay. And so this one sentence came through, and then that was it for a long, long time. And when was that? There was the 888. Actually, no, it's hard to pinpoint because there are a few times where it kind of like had a bit of a boost. But it started coming through, as I say, in sessions. So I would start with tones and frequencies, and then they turned into words. And a lot of the time, the word part of it, I was quite happy to do tones and frequencies into the body because I was kind of doing that anyway, and using sound in my treatments anyway. But the words I wasn't sure how they would be received. So when I was doing sessions, I would mouth the words, but I wouldn't actually let the sound out. And the clients, obviously their eyes were shut, they were in a deep space, and they didn't hear me saying the words, but I could feel the difference in the energy. So if an area on the body was a bit stuck, if the energy wasn't really flowing in or out, and I could feel that with my hands. For a long time, I've been doing things with my hands to kind of like shift it and pick it up and transmute it that way. But I found with the light language, all I would need to do was speak it, and it would really shift like instantaneously. I remember one guy that came to me, he'd had this sensation in his body, and he knew it was negative energy. He knew it was like a negative energy attachment. And I just asked his permission. I said, normally I pull this stuff out, but would you mind if I speak light language and see what happens? So with this, I visualize with the client a golden cylinder of light. This is the way that I used to do it. And that golden cylinder of light is coming from source. It's surrounding both of us. We have like one cylinder each, and the cylinders are going all the way down to the heart of the earth. So I spoke the light language, and the negative energy just kind of just dissipated completely. Whether it went up the golden cylinder to source, I'm not sure, or whether it just transmuted in the body. But he could instantly feel the difference as well. So that was quite nice for me not to have to, pull the energy out, for it to just dissipate on its own. And in 2015, at the 8/8 gateway, the Lions Gate, so the 8th of August, a huge activation was coming through then, and this was quite different. This was a big body activation. And after that happened, I started to do a lot more work on the land and on the energy grids. And with those activations, what we're doing with those is bringing in the New Earth templates. So it's bringing through the energy that we're kind of moving into in Earth. And it's like the divine templates without the distortion. So that was what I was bringing through. Anything else to add to that? And those activations were huge, and they often would take place at the beach. There was a definite water link with those, and I could feel the whale energy. This is still while I was in Australia. I could very much feel the whale energy with me. And dragon energy too, but I wasn't working as closely with the dragons then as I am now. Mm. Yeah. I think that's it not in a nutshell.
Yeah. It's very, I mean, so because it's interesting how, for me, with like language, like language as it sort of exploded, is that my teaching sort of, it was already in part of my teaching or part of the stuff I do, but it was what we call men ren inside the door. There were certain things that were kept closed off, that were that were deemed either just not suitable for a lot of people, or they would see too scary, or it's too powerful. For whatever reason, there's lots of things that were men ren. And they call it light code rather than light language, and it's called light code because it could be sound, it could be the movements, it could be visions, or people could go into spontaneous writing, if you go into spontaneous pictures or making art, and all of that was considered the same thing. All of that was light code, was the light language. And or could quite simply also be put as shundao, which means flowing way. And so so I sort of grew up in this, well, this is normal, except it's secret normal. If that was that was a Boggieism. It's like it was you get into this, it's almost like Harry Potter. Is in the martial art world, or in certain things, you get past a certain thing, and suddenly this whole world of stuff comes up and appears, and like, you know, there was a certain world where basically the FT 100 index and 500 index businesses used remote viewers, used psychics, used channelers, used light language, used empaths all the time. And that was normal, but they kept it behind closed doors. It was like I say, it was normal, but you never talked about it. It was something that it was, and some businesses even made you sign a disclosure to say that if you ever talked that you do this, either that you do this or you watch this, you saw this, we will sue your pants off. And I mean your trousers in the UK. So it's a really weird and interesting thing. There is this, you know, this whole, you know, these two parallel worlds existing, and hidden in plain sight comes very much to mind. So yeah, and it's really like, it's really the only, originally the place that for me the dragon energy very much ruled was in China, but then I went to Hawaii, and I went to Hawaii in 2001, literally 2 weeks before, no, it was 8 days before September 11th 2001, and we spent those 8 days in Hawaii, and I met this I met this gentleman, this master who did Huna. Now Huna is the Japanese, is the Hawaiian version of Reiki, and it is, but they very much say it is the dragon energy, and you know, I was doing my qigong in this hotel, and I kept seeing these people kept watching me, and then one day this woman said, oh, you know, oh, you're, you know, I see where you're very powerful. I must introduce you to the master of Huna, because I'd never heard of this Huna at the time. So cool. And he happened to be the blooming groundskeeper. You know, it's like the whole Mr. Miyagi thing. He was the groundskeeper. And this groundskeeper, one of these masters, was saying, oh, the dragons, now I know why the dragons have been so happy. And really? And it says, because you're here, you know, your energy, you brought the dragons, and you brought other energies here. And it was my first introduction to like Huna, and from Huna, the Ho'oponopono, which everybody knows about, that's actually part of Huna. It's a small part, but it's actually part of Huna. It was my first introduction to there, and then when I then went back to my Sifus, they were, you brought the Hawaiian energy. So it was very, very interesting and very so those energy, but these are the ancient energies. These energies are coming through because now is the top, because it's now time to clear what was and open up to new energies and open up to new possibilities, new realities. Well, that's what I see. That's what I sort of know, but hey, what do I know?
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Indeed. So I'm going to burn an incense stick. I'm not, unfortunately, well, what I'm, that's what I was going to do. So I just reminded myself. So for the sake of, just in case I can't for some reason download this from YouTube to then put it onto Facebook, I'm going to record it anyway. So welcome. If I can't do it the other way, this is the brand new recording. This session is called, or this show is called, Light Code Discussions with the wonderful Denise Chadwick and myself, Sifu Boggie. And light code is like language, but it's all variations. It's the whole lot. Now, people who know me know that I'm always doing things with my hands, and there's something weird in the background going on. So I actually do light code all the freaking time, or Shunchi-shen or Shundao. I'm doing empowerments all the time, but it's not just empowerments, it's more than that. It is, I'm very expressive with my hands, and the energy comes through all the time. And ever since I was a kid, I was spontaneously, like Tourette's, I'd spontaneously do or say stuff or twitch. And in Taoism, that's light code. That's what light code is. The spontaneous movement. Spontaneous movement, spontaneous qigong and spontaneous movement is light code, is light language, is opening up to the universe, turning on the radio and seeing what channel turns up today. That's pretty much light code. So how would you like to go from here?
Well, I was wondering, because the light language can just come through for the occasion, or it can come through for a specific purpose. The way I use it at the minute in sessions is in all of the chakras to kind of like upgrade them, upgrade the DNA. But something that that I've been quite conscious of the energies that we're kind of walking through on the planet at the moment is the working with the polarities of masculine and feminine, and also fire and water. This is a lot of the work that I've been doing at the moment to kind of bring those polarities together. So that's what I was wondering about, whether to do an activation that is linked to that. How does that?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I'm actually what's called a water Taoist. So, what's coming forward, depending what you watch, but as we're on YouTube, if those who watch The Edge of Wonder, they actually did a video on Star Wars, and George Lucas is actually admitted that he based Star Wars on Buddhism, Taoism, the Eastern knowledge, and the Jedi and the Sith are actually the yin and the yang, the light and dark sides of the Force. And originally, which wasn't actually in the original. Originally, when he wrote the canons, the stories, he had what was called the grey code. And the grey code is the balance between the dark and the light, which is Tai Chi, which is a Taoist. So the Taoists balance the water, the water chi, the yin, the divine feminine, so water chi, and the fire, which is the yang, which is the kundalini. And when the water, so you have the kundalini, which is why the dragon goes, this is a Tibetan kundalini flag. So it's the chakras with the kundalini, and the water is also called the pillar of light. So when you put the pillar of light straight down the middle, which is when you tuck in your chin and open up your bum and you align your spine, you activate the fire and the water, and they create what the Taoists call the silver mist, or the Tai Chi, the steam. And so, yeah, so a water and fire activation called Blimey, I love you, girl. That's freaking awesome. Let's do that. Let's rock on.
All righty. So I'll just say before I start that the light language that comes through it's from source, and there's many streams that come through at the same time. There may be one that's a little bit more at the forefront than others, but there are many streams that come through at the same time. And also I do a lot of work with my hands as well. So there will be separate streams that come through with my hands as well. Okay, I'm just going to see what comes through with this. And something I always like to do as well at the beginning of activations, I'm all about the heart and being in the heart space. So I'll just invite us all to take a few long and slow deep breaths. And perhaps on your out breath, breathe out a sigh, breathe out a and is the sound of the heart. So let's just connect all of our hearts here. Connecting our hearts with the heart of Gaia, the heart of source energy, and the heart of the sun. And let's visualize a golden cylinder of light coming down from source, through the cosmos, down to wherever you are. And it's surrounding your whole body and going down deep, deep, deep down into the earth, all the way to the crystal heart of Gaia and connecting in with the New Earth templates. So this work that we will be doing today will be anchored into the New Earth templates and to the heart of Gaia. Kiredet ust ehia borot o nerat a. Kilerot onamakele hia bart ust erat at arat oko od orle bart at. Kelerot rosta maradake ishtarad onamaka ast. Holerot onst aradadarot od I arat od art od ore. Kemerat od akiarat ust irat at ust. Kelechot onamakele hiarad ustili ir. Hanamakile hiama a duret an I. Elevaka oist arad oist I irat. Kustera oihia an urd at. Anamaki it or ohun arad on ma kia. Heliarad onamakele arad ud oist a. Ke arad on an amake arad oist arad at arad I parat at. Kelehiarad onamakele gida ast odamar nekit it adarlamaka a. Ki herod onamakiasta ha ut orad an a erad okist I. Hiamelerat nomakule as tuerra. Anamakille ki in storad a onamaki ele e. Hiala arad ust un amaki arad ust a adadodoi. Anamakilaka ust ud oi adaba da ast. Hia lerad un barad a. Hemeki erad ustur lamanaki dirad ust. Hanamakillegeda ost ud a. Anamaki I. He at ust a. Eleherd ud an. Anamaki I. Erod un a stor. Anamakille I ast ud. Kiaronosta nerod oya para ia. Kiliano kulerst ohian ne barat at adarat ustera. Kuleharanana makili yarot oya stahan ne barat oya ka astaya. Kilierot on ne barat an era et astora. Kulehianador ostahana mele iadut oya barata ana. Kilihano kostarat ia oist et arat oya. Kulihiame learat on nimi iarat oa. Kuliarat ust ehia anamekili iarat od arat oya. Kiano. Koradat erat oya ba at ayat ut ist arat oya ba ta 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 ta. Erat oist hierat o hama at aya. Kule stohi bord oid arat ka ast urt ea an ebert at o i. Aran lana mekili erat oi est. Hia barat eananan erat oist arat e. Hia malearat on ka nest urat a. Ele hia bart on kist. Allearat oie barata kile marata nana mekile erat iapata kule haroton nana mekile yaroton amakile hiam baratoto diana meki barat oista kile harot on narat oika barata a akadallo humma darat oist haronoma pulle barata lana mekia Kiana Hanamoya la ya na ya yo Yomoli la 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 Eleana makile yo Arabarashtuela lana makile to la patata Ana makile to lana makito to apart Ana makile to Ana makilo utash Ana makilakia Ana maki it Kulle paradadana namikille hia paradadot oista. Anamakille lokudelado to lada makille to la barato to titatato. Anamakille to la la be the ladder to utsta. Utana la 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 layout uit. Kiavada.
Yes. Is wonder. In one thing. One to Bushuto. In the Hushin. Un son Usta. In Lucian Shintao. Dino. Imushanai Undio. By what tune? I saw a Yapoyan un Shin un Yistu. Oh, not so long. One shine. The Moho Notaba. Wash or Jisho Tua. Damu. Arju Shutso. Yoto Hiota. Oh, Shino. Oh, Juicy one bar. Oh, dear. Oh, Jishosu. Ah, oh, hey, ha, Jiron. Ha.
Ashtahiya parad ohiamet aradod oistarada parada. And I'm a gilio do it dust it erad uit at ast. Hiara oist arad ihia mirad adel gust. Hameke era anst he erad okurat anadaro. Und der darad ohia muret I ust oyapa. Kilia no kulearat oyashta. Rat ost, rat ut at, rat ist, rat atadadast, rat atadada ista, rat atadada ist anameki rat ort rat anameki liharat ansto hierat oi barat ot atadasta, ot ist rat Amaka arat ut unst it unst hrt hier at ja akada eret oista hier ara nimaka holera ekest I eret at Kuret eret ist hier ert ut at id ast uit idadada nimaka al Kulleja ant uirat uit eret ast ut ant uit Kilera ena kia est hamuda. He eret ihan meditaret anamekiliarat uistaret an. Herleananamekiliarat uiast. Heradanamekiaret uist. Heradanamekiaret iat uist eret at it ort Ort anamekiaret est uit eret at urt. Anamekiaret eret uit eret uit ki eret unmaka. Yarut un marit iacast ud da iado yarri an dort a arader ananamekirat an uisteret yarut oya haralanen mekirat uyet ba da dust harat yarat atana kurle yarat uyit barasto helene mekirat at the yorat atana mekirat uistera ele yarat un amaret yarat oret at oret da ut ast Jared Jared Uret at art at Urt at Ash. Jared Jared at East. Jared Uit Jared at Urt Ayak Est. Jared Jared Uit Jared Est Jared at an. Urt an Makiaret East at Ar Okoyata. Colora tansta hiaparet iaka. Heleerot unnemaki erot uist. Alaiet nierot uja. Hiamakia ja oret aja. Oret iina kieleot uja nakiavat. Ja stoiden on makuleerot uja. Anamaki leerot unstieret iapan mik it at ot uja. Kollerat on numa källei arvotustaja. Kollerat on nämmäkin leerat annamaratataan. Heleerot ustia nämäkin orot uja.
Need to click. Cool. Ooh. Oh, that was good. Thank you very much. Yes.
May I suggest that people drink plenty of water?
Yes. Keep warm, drink plenty of water. Two opposing opposites-ish. But oh yes, indeed. Right. Okay. So we had Phoenix Bakenko say hello, Denise. Hello, Boggie. I'm not sure. Have we got anybody still watching now? There's a group I'm on that's going mental. But apart from that, I think had possibly three people still watching, I think. I'm trying to there. Let's have a look on the thing on with with Facebook. I'm not sure it's even shared it out. The one comment is myself. That was 35 minutes ago. I don't know if people are looking. Because it doesn't quite. Unfortunately, when it comes to YouTube, it doesn't give you any information.
Yeah.
Because YouTube and Facebook don't talk. They're apparently split up, or just don't like each other. One of the two. But anyway, so we are recording. I will actually download this anyway, so you'll get to see it either or. Wow, that was cool.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it'll be interesting to listen back to that and just receive that. I didn't mention geometries. I know a lot of the stuff I'm doing with my hands, a lot of it is light language symbols, but there's also a lot of geometry kind of being created as well. And it's like you're speaking sacred geometry as well, which is, it's a little bit hard to get your head around that because it doesn't really quite work in a linear fashion that your brain wants to like hold on to. But yeah, that we are.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, some of the stuff. I mean, I sort of phase in and out. Which because the old days, that's why they kept it secret, because the spontaneous movement, spontaneous qigong, the light language, spontaneous sound or mantra, because you sort of phased in and out, they would call it possession. Oh, you're being possessed. But I know, or what I feel, I feel the energy through my body. I feel like I can feel it compulsing through the body, and it's sort of, for me, it's here, but it's not here. It's coming from here, though. It's the speaker is picking up the information. One of my friends, Terry, once sort of translated it as his understanding of it. He more observed than did, because he was very much he was very much a scientist, and worked in government, and so this was back in the 80s when I knew him, and it's like, oh yeah, no, oh yeah, I'll observe it from afar, and he would say his understanding of it would be is that you're picking up signals, and your body's the speaker, your body's the antennae, and your throat, or you're the speaker. And he would say, because he did he definitely felt energy, and he could scan energy, and he would say is that I'm feeling it all the way. I have had him put his hand on my back before, and he's saying that's coming through your body. And say it's not coming from here, it's coming from the body and traveling upwards and then hitting the throat. It's actually coming from it's actually coming from inside your body. It's so yeah, it is what it is. It's interesting stuff, and some people have said in the past that is that when they're around all it physically, when they're around it, is like it's almost like they're in the Matrix. Things move, the whole world sort of vibrates, and just says, "What are you doing, Boggie?" It's not me. It's not really me. It is me, and it's not me. But yeah, and I think what I heard, it was sort of bits of yours I heard, and because you actually do, I'm sure I heard the throat singing. I'm sure I heard what the Tibetans call throat singing. I'm sure I heard that at some point as well. So
yeah, I've definitely noticed that, and it's interesting when you're on the inside of it, because you can't quite hear. You're hearing the sound from inside your body, which sounds different from the outside. There's been some very strange. It's like my throat and my voice box is being upgraded as well, so that different sounds can kind of come through. And you can make sounds that you never had any idea that a human could make, or especially that I could make as a human. And it feels to me like I love to sit in the space afterwards, because it feels I can feel the energy inside me, but I can feel it all around me as well. And it's like you're in this beautiful portal of energy, like we're creating portals that connect, you know, to the galactics, to source. And it's a really beautiful space to be in, because the energy just feels amazing, and it's so intense to be in that space. So when I'm doing it, I'm still very present in my body. I'm very aware of what I'm doing, but I might forget about it afterwards. Sometimes it's not until you watch. And as I'm doing it, I'm kind of like, oh, that's interesting. I haven't done that before, you know, what's that? But then it's forgotten. By the end of it, I've completely forgotten what I've done. So it's good when you record it, because then you can look back and go, there's that point. There's that point. And for me, there was something different. The energy was quite different. I think it was the second to the last one I did, or the third to the last one. And it was the one after it was a very feminine energy. Like, to me, those energies that I was pulling through, some of them felt quite masculine and some of them felt quite feminine. And that felt quite masculine to me. But that wasn't really an energy that I recognize. And for me, good question, Samantha. I'll answer that in a minute. In fact, I'll answer it now because I forgot. I forgot what I was going to say. Do I understand it? That's an interesting question. And for me, when I do it, I'm doing it for activation purposes. Not a problem. I'm doing it for activation purposes. So it doesn't translate. It's not linear. So it doesn't, for me, translate into English as such. Or it might, but it might take 1,000 words to explain that little bit of energy, because it's quantum. So as Boggie said before, it holds codes and it holds information. So you can hold a whole universe of information in just a small sound. Having said that, I think you can use it to say, like, hello, how are you? I'm sure there are words that could come through for that. And I have spoken to people kind of in light language, which is really interesting, because they've spoken to me in light language and I've answered them, and I haven't got any idea what they've said or what I've said, but it's felt right. And it's kind of soul to soul. And I, human Denise, I'm just letting it through, really. But my higher self will understand. And my heart probably understands as well, but my brain doesn't, because it's not linear in that fashion. And our brain doesn't really have anything it can, like, hold on to with it. It's got no prior kind of information about it. So our brain, it bypasses the brain basically, and does go straight to the heart. But I am kind of observing what I'm doing, and I'm still very much in there. It's not like a trance channeler who's kind of like separate. I'm very much in here, observing what's going on and feeling it all as well. Like, there's so many things going on at the same time. You're listening to the sounds. You know, sometimes it's pretty funny what comes through as well. And some things you're quite glad that you're in private doing. So when those kinds of things come through, and some words sound like other words, which can make you giggle as well, because it's like, oh, you just made me say that. You know, when it sounds like a profanity or just something else that's completely different from what you're doing, it can make me chuckle a little bit as well. And it's a really comfortable experience. It feels really beautiful, because that energy, it's source energy, and who doesn't like to bask and sit in source energy and have it, you know, coursing through your body at such a strong velocity. So it's a really, I find it's a really beautiful space to be in. And sometimes if I'm feeling a bit like, or there's something going on, an activation really helps. It's almost like it rounds off the edges a little bit of the energy that's moving through your body. So it's a bit more comfortable. But it can also be a way of, you know, if you're feeling or if you're feeling whatever, it can be a way of letting that energy pass through you as well.
I think so how I was taught is like that when you're all children are closest to the universe, closest to the Tao, and so the babbling that children do is light language.
Yeah.
It's not babbling; it's light language. And so this thing of like you hear like you must be psychic or you this. No, we're all psychic. We all have those abilities. It's no different to you can all technically juggle. Some people would have to practice more to achieve what somebody could do in a few minutes, and it's no and the energetic, the clairs and the energetic stuff is no different. My Sufis were very much a believer of that. They very much believe that anybody can do psychic abilities. Anybody can do any of the clairs. Anybody can do, and the spontaneous language or the spontaneous code or the spontaneous sound is just open your mouth and let it come out, and stop trying to control. Let things just like the automatic writing or spontaneous writing. Just let yourself doodle and just keep going, and don't restrict it. Don't stop it. And it's it's an intro. Like say I phase when I say I phase out, I mean I'm there. So I'm not. Was it a trans medium? I'm not disappearing as such, but I'm definitely feeling like stepping back and going, oh wow, my body suddenly feels a lot lighter and I feel a lot bigger, and because something else is doing lots of stuff with the body, and like I say, a bit like what Terry would say is that is sort of you, like I say, is that if you just let yourself even with talking, if you just allow yourself, there are many times where you could call it I've channeled a chat, and it's like, no, I'm here, but it's like, what did I say again? Because there was so much, or it's so profound, is that I'm sort of going, oh wow, pretty colours, this feels cool, and I'm hearing it, but it's sort of like, are you always paying attention to what the radio's saying? If you have a talk show on, are you listening intently to every single word, or are you getting on doing other stuff? You're getting on, and when you sort of step back, it allows you to sort of get on and do other stuff, or at least experience a little bit of freedom, because when we're in this body and you're really everything's all compressed, but when you actually step back a little bit, you actually expand a little bit, because your consciousness is a lot bigger than most people realize, and that's the whole point, and this stuff sort of helps that. But then, like I say, you become sort of like a speaker, and it's coming through you, and as you say, it's like there is that thing of how it sounds in what I hear and feel is different to when I've not done too much audios, to be honest, because like I said, this is publicly the first time I've really done it, on air. But it'd be interesting to see, because how it feels is a lot different to, I think, it depends. Some people, when they're really close, they're saying, it's like you're affecting the matrix, as I said before, everything's shaking, and the sky's shaking, and it's like, well, it's the energy coming through, but anyway, stop talking now. Okay, and what else was said? So Samantha also said, do you understand do you understand each other? No, but the energy was aware there was somebody else there was somebody else speaking, and it is I know that, and I know there's a little bit of at one point it was a little bit of a sort of a cross thing, but there was definitely now it's my turn, and now it's your, and I definitely got that, but I definitely got there was a little bit in the middle, a little bit of sort of like a cross, but I think they were definitely aware. Definitely, technically everything's aware because everything's one, so it's all. But yeah, I think there was I wasn't controlling it, but there was definitely an awareness. I think, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, definitely. And it felt like it was definitely a shared transmission. And it did feel like, you know, my team were very connected with your team. Yeah. And it's interesting sometimes to do it at the same time as well. Like I wondered, there was some stuff that I was saying quite quietly because I didn't want to kind of like speak over you, and it was like, it's your turn. And really, you know, it would have been it would have been absolutely fine, I know, if I had, but I just felt to kind of like let that come through a bit quietly. But that might be interesting on another occasion as well, just to kind of do it together. I'm going to do on the 22nd of January at 7:00. I'm going to have a Zoom call, and it's called the Light Language Garden. So it's if anyone wants to join me in the Light Language Garden, this is where it's like a safe place for us to share codes. And actually, what we've done today is that polarity between masculine and feminine and fire and water is just seems to be the thing to be doing at the moment, really. So that will be the theme of it. So anybody can join, and I've just shared it onto my Facebook page. So if people are just starting to speak light language, it's kind of like a safe place that they you know, can share whatever they want to, because it is a bit scary at first when you're doing it publicly. And thank you, Sifu, for doing this here. I feel very privileged that you've chosen this occasion as well to do this with me. It's like all of us are stepping up and stepping out in different ways at the moment. So yeah, I'm very honoured that you chose this occasion to do it. So if people are wanting to share codes, and that can be written codes as well, but it's going to be a place that people can just share codes for a purpose. But part of the purpose is for people to step up and feel comfortable sharing their own light language. So that's going to be on the 22nd at 7:00 on Zoom.
22nd. We'll have a quick look when that is. So 20.
Are you free?
I'll tell you in a second. Actually, yeah, let's do it that way. So let's look at
The Wednesday.
Calendar. 22nd should be that. Is that January? No, yes, January's there. 22nd. At what time?
7:00.
7:00. I'm technically still at work, but I might see if I can get off a little bit earlier, if I can, because I would love to be part of that. That'd be awesome. So yeah, possibly I will try. And because if I can, then because it'll be on your profile, I take it, yeah, or your page.
Yeah, it's also on the Love Speaks Love page as well. But right. I might delete that one because I did that one first. It seems that when you share things on Facebook from like a kind of more of a not your personal profile, it doesn't seem to go as far. I find when it's my business page, it doesn't seem to go as far. I'm not sure if that's just the things that I've been posting from that page or if that's the case.
Actually, you say that. I must admit that sort of, because I think the wonderful Shanine Mooland, she has pages, and I think she's now actually doing it from her profile rather than her page. So that could be a thing. That could actually be a thing. Okay, yeah, because I might have to do that then, or at least on one or two things, and see what happens. But yeah, right. So yes. So well, what at least if I may, what I might do then is at least share it onto the Way of Conscious Mindfulness, so a lot more people can see it. So if I can be part of it, then I will be as well. Or at least I will actually share that and help you get the information out even more.
Beautiful, thank you.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
And I would imagine it would probably go on longer than an hour. I'd kind of aim for about an hour, but often calls like that do go on longer, I find. So yeah.
Yeah,
so
I think
we're going.
Yeah, well, I think I did a bit more talky because I'm used to talking, so there's a bit more talky today than lighty. As one of my friends used to call it, it's you do lighty. And so, yeah, no, well, next month we'll we'll let it out more. It's a shame. It's a shame that Zoom decided that it was going to be finicky. I don't know why it's playing up. It's like I said, this morning I did a show this morning and it was perfectly fine. No, I did 2 shows this morning. It was perfectly fine. And the only thing I've done is that I've left the computer on all day. So that's the only thing I can think. Is it that? I don't know, but something.
I don't think so. I think it's just sometimes you can't connect, and whether that's that they've got a limit on the number of people doing that, or whether it's like, I don't know, a data thing. I'm not sure. I know Zoom. There's a new message come up saying something about the 19th that we're looking at if people are pushing past their license, which I'm not entirely. I'm wondering if that means whether if people are using it more than they're supposed to. Well, if that is possible. Yeah. So they're obviously coming in with a new something. I don't know yet what that something is, which is really annoying because I was actually really liking Zoom. But we'll see. Who? I don't know. We'll see. It's all good. But anyway, so thank you so much. It's been a great pleasure and an honour. Yeah, well, this will be in the next few hours be put onto Facebook anyway. I'll up from Zoom. Once it's loaded, once it's saved, I'll download it onto Facebook, wherever the terminology is. I'll stick it on Facebook, but it is on YouTube otherwise. So there you go. So thank you so much, Denise. This has been a great pleasure and honour. I'm looking forward to next month, and if I can, I will meet you on the Wednesday, the 22nd. Yep.
Cool. Wednesday, the 22nd. It is then. And
thank you.
We'll go from there. So everybody else, that's it for now. And thank you, Denise. And we'll see you again in the future. And I'll actually, I can do it this way. So on YouTube. So thank you guys. It's been a great pleasure and an honor, and on the recording as well. Thank you very much. So until next time, it's goodbye from the wonderful Denise. It's goodbye from myself, Sifu Boggie, and it's goodbye from the Way of Conscious Mindfulness and this show, Discussions of Light Code with Denise Chadwick and Sifu Boggie. So bye for now. Love, Chi and Chen, and the recording will be ending now. So, he says that, and then he's got to press yes first. And then on YouTube, it will be end.